Okay. So first is Mendel's laws of inheritance. Okay. So these are some terms related to the genetics. Okay. So genetics is the study of inheritance, that is heredity, or the characters or study of genes. Okay. Inheritance is the transmission of character from the parents to the progeny. Okay. It is the basis of heredity. Then what is variation? Difference between parents. Okay. Difference between the parents. Variation is difference between the parents and offspring. Then we have okay, character, a heritable feature among the parents and offspring. Example, eye color, hair color, skin color, whether curly hair or straight hair. Trait, variants of a character. Trait means variants of a character. For example, if you take eye color, you can either have blue eye, black eye, red eye, yellow eye, brown eye. Okay, the color of the eye, brown eye. Yeah, jaundice. Next, alleles. Allele is an alternative form of a gene. Every gene has two forms. Okay. Example, if you see a gene for tall, there will be one gene which will control the character of tallness. The other gene will control the character of dwarfness. So tall and dwarf are two alleles of a gene for a character height. Just like eye, it can be either brown or black. The hair can be either straight or curly. Then homozygous, the condition in which the chromosome pair carries similar gene alleles of a gene. There are two chromosomes. One will come from mother, the other one will come from father, maternal and paternal. So if both carry the same gene, same allele, if both carry the same allele, then it is called homozygous. Now, if there is one gene, okay, and there is character tall. So one chromosome carries tall character. The other chromosome from the father also carries tall character. Then it is called as homozygous. Or if it can be even dwarf and dwarf. Short and short. Tall and tall. Yellow and yellow, green and green. Like that. So homozygous is generally shown like this. Okay. Capital T, capital T. Then we have it, homozygous can also be small t, small t. Then we have heterozygous, the condition in which chromosome pair carries dissimilar genes, alleles of a gene. It can be either tall, dwarf, yellow or green. Like that. Next, dominant character. Okay. Dominant character is the character which is expressed in heterozygous condition. A character which is expressed, why it is mentioned here heterozygous character condition? Because when there are two different things, like heterozygous, there will be tall as well as dwarf, but only the tall character will be shown. That's why it is called as dominant. If both are tall and tall, if both the chromosome carry tall and tall, obviously the plant will be tall. If it is having one tall and one dwarf, then the plant will be tall. That is called as dominant character. It is indicated by capital letter. So that's why we will write it as capital T. Recessive character, the character which is suppressed in heterozygous condition. The character which is suppressed in heterozygous condition or which is not expressed in heterozygous condition. When there is capital T and small t, when one is tall, one gene has allele for tall and the other allele is dwarf, which character will be expressed? The capital T, that is the tall. Which will not be expressed? The dwarf one, that is small t we write. That's why the dwarf one will be called as recessive character. Then phenotype. All the visible characters, the physical expression of an individual, all what we can see from outside. The shape of the nose, the color of the eyes, whether the hair is straight or curly, whether chubby chin, dimple. Genotype is the genetic constitution of a character. Genetic constitution. Like the color of your hair is black because there is one gene which controls that color. So genotype controls the characteristics, but it controls the phenotype. Your phenotype depends on the genotype. Physical is phenotype. Your phenotype depends on the genotype. The what genes you have, those genes will be expressed and those characters will be seen in your body. Hybrid, an individual produced by mating of genetically unlike parents. Okay, hybrid. For example, tomato. Potato and tomato. Okay, liger. Lion and tiger. Okay, then mule. Horse and donkey. Then one more is there. Zebra or something. Horse and zebra. Okay, next is Gregor Johann Mendel, the father of genetics. Now, Mendel conducted some hybridization experiments on garden peas. Means he mixed two plants with some different characters. He took around 7 years for his studies. In 7 years he did study. Then, what are the steps in making a cross in a pea? Steps in making a cross in a pea. We have already studied this. First, we have to select two pea plants with contrasting character. Yeah, contrasting means different. First, we will select two plants with contrasting character. That is different. Then emasculation. What is emasculation? Removal of the anther. That is emasculation means remove the masculine character. Emasculation is removal of the masculine. Masculine means it is anther. So they will remove the anther of one plant to avoid self-pollination. Once the anther is removed, there will be no pollens and there will be no self-pollination. This is a female parent then. Once it is removed, the anthers is removed, that means that will be our female parent. Then pollination. Collection of pollen grains from male parent and transferring it to a female parent. Which is the female parent? A parent whose anthers are already removed, not any other female parent. Okay, so pollination is done. They will collect the pollens from any other flower, whichever they are interested, and transfer in this emasculated flower. Then collection and germination of seeds to produce offspring. Then what will happen after pollination? There will be fertilization. After fertilization, there will be fruit formation. From the fruit, they will get a seed. Now this seed will be hybrid. When you sow this seed, you will get a different variety of a plant. So this is how he conducts the experiment. Next, the 7 true breeding varieties selected by Mendel. So he studied 7 characters. Total 7 characters, out of which the dominant were there as well as recessive. Now, if you see stem height, it was either tall or dwarf. So it was either tall or dwarf plant. Then fruit flower color was violet or white. Flower color violet or white. Flower position is axial or terminal. Axial and terminal. What is difference between axial and terminal?
Many joined together. Here.
Huh?
Like, there is like one here, one here.
Yeah. And terminal?
Right.
Terminal is like this. If I draw a plant like this flower will be terminal. Okay. Now, sometimes the flower will come here in the axial. Okay. Axial means the angle, axial is the angle between the stem and the petiole. Axial is the angle between the stem and the petiole. So if this is the leaf, this is the petiole. Here you will get flowers in the axial. Terminal is at the top. Terminal flowers will be at the top. So axial means the angle between the leaf. So here you can see
Oh, yes, yes.
axial. Terminal is see. In terminal plant, the plant will end in a in terminal plant, the plant will end, the top part of the plant will end in a flower. In axial, it will continue to grow. This will continue to grow into plant. Here new leaves will come and from the side you will get flower. Then pod shape can be inflated or constricted. Pod shape, inflated or constricted. You know what is pod, no? In P you get a pod. Okay. That can be either full or constricted. Pod color will be green or yellow. Green or yellow. Seed shape, that's why no, you have never seen yellow because green is dominant. Rarely you will see yellow pods. Then seed shape is round or wrinkled. We mostly see round shape, very few you will get wrinkled. Seed color yellow or green. Yellow or green. We get more of green here, no? But yellow is dominant. Then, Mendel laws of inheritance. When there is inheritance of one gene, it is called as monohybrid cross. When we study only one character. Now, if you are studying for tall and dwarf, if you are studying mixing tall and dwarf, and if you are concentrating what will be the height of the new plant, we are not interested in fruit color, flower color, only one character. I am mixing tall and dwarf. I am growing the seeds and I am trying to see what will be the height of the plant. That time it is called as monohybrid cross. A cross involving two plants differing in one character pair is called monohybrid cross. Here you can see dwarf and tall, violet and white, yellow and green. So only one characters are taken at a time. Here they have taken height. Here they have taken color of the flower. And here color of the seed. Okay. So example, Mendel crossed tall and dwarf pea plants to study the inheritance of one gene. Next, inheritance of one gene, tall and dwarf. So what he found that in first generation, which is F1 of filial, they were heterozygous plant. If we took two homozygous tall and true homozygous dwarf, means both are capital T and the other one is small t. What he found that he got a heterozygous plant which was tall. Okay, heterozygous tall. Then what he did, he took this plant, he grew this plant. He took, now these are the parents here. First, these were the parents and this is the offspring. Now, in after few months, you get a new plant. Here he used this plant as the parents. It will be not only one plant, there will be many plants. Yeah, there will be many plants grown, 5 to 6 say. Take two plants and take them as father and mother. Okay, so this type of two plants, heterozygous tall and heterozygous tall. You got where this heterozygous tall has come? This type of plant he took and crossed with themselves. What he found that there was tall plant as well as dwarf plant. Initially in F1 generation, he got all the plants were tall, heterozygous, but they were tall. In F2 generation, when he did self-cross of F1 generation, self-cross, cross between themselves only, he found they were tall as well as dwarf plant. How many tall are there? 3 tall and 1 dwarf. So this is what he did of maths, using math. So he gave the ratio of tall to the dwarf. Tall to the dwarf, he gave ratio. What is the ratio? 3:1. So this is how we got maths in biology. Okay, next is inheritance of one gene. The F1 TT was self-pollinated, which I have already told you all. It was self-pollinated, produced gametes T and T in equal proportion. See, TT, they were together. These are the gametes. TT is like this, the plant is like this, the plant will produce gametes. So the gametes were having capital T and small t. Gametes will separate because during gamete formation, which type of division takes place as the mitosis or meiosis? Meiosis. What type of cells are produced in meiosis? Haploid or diploid? Haploid. In meiosis, that is during gamete formation, they are haploid. So it will have only one set of character. So that's why it was capital T, small t, capital T, small t. When you do the combination, this T will become capital T, capital T. This capital T and this small t, capital T, small t, small t. Okay. So 1/4 of the random fertilization leads to capital T, capital T. Half of the random fertilization leads to capital T, small t, and 1/4 will lead to small t, small t. Got as the math? See, how many capital T are there? Capital T, how many are there? One. How many total boxes are there? Fraction you all studied, no? Dividing how many, what part makes this? 1/4. This light green, there are two out of 4. The lightest green, 1 out of 4. That's why it is 1 out of 4, half out of 2, 1 out of 2, and 1 out of 4. Okay. So binomial, it is giving a binomial expression. A plus B the whole square. AX plus BY the whole square. Hence, half T plus half T the whole square. What is half T plus half T the whole square? Half T into half T plus half T into half T plus half T. Yes, the getting half T plus half T the whole square. What do you mean by squaring?
Twice.
Squaring means multiplying the same term twice. So this term is multiplied twice here. So half into half, half into half. Half plus half is 1. Half into half is 1/4. Half into half, 1/4. Okay. Half into half, 1/4. Capital T, small t. Then this term we have to take. Half into half will give 1/4. Capital T, small t. Half into half, 1/4. Small t, small t. Now these are like fraction, like terms. These two are like terms. 1/4 plus 1/4 is half. 1/4 plus 1/4 is half. That's why you get this correct. 1/4, half, 1/4. From here, they have taken. So this is how we use math. Now also for us also it is very difficult. Imagine during that time how difficult for new biologists it will be to take maths into biology. Then inheritance of one gene, monohybrid character, tall to dwarf is 3:1. Okay, monohybrid phenotypic ratio is 3:1. This is capital T, small t. Everything you got as capital T, small t. Capital T, small t into capital T, small t. This is what they got. Now they have taken phenotypic ratio. What is phenotypic? Physical, what you can see. Now here, if I see this plant, it will look like tall. If I see this plant, it looks like tall. If I see this plant, it is tall. And this plant, it is dwarf. From seeing from outside, if I see this tree, can I see what is the gene inside? No. So phenotypically, I will say the phenotypic character is ratio is 3:1. 3:1. 3 tall, 1 dwarf. Genotypic means what are the genes? So how many different types of combinations are here? How many different types of combinations are here? 3. One is capital T. Second one is capital T, small t. And third one is small t, small t. So how many capital T are there? 1. How many capital T, small t? 2. How many small t? 1. So this is the monohybrid phenotypic and dihybrid phenotypic ratio for, monohybrid phenotypic and monohybrid genotypic ratio. Okay. Next is Mendel's law of inheritance. Inheritance of one gene, monohybrid cross. Okay. So Mendel self-pollinated F2 generation, everything same repeated, F2 generation, and found that dwarf F2 plants continued to generate dwarf plants in F3 and F4. He concluded that genotype of dwarfs was homozygous. Mendel made similar observations for other pairs of traits. He proposed that some factors were inherited from the parents to the offspring. Okay. Now these are the just numbers which were given: 705 to 24, 6022, 2021, 5474, 1850. These many plants he had grown. Okay. Now let's see what this is saying. See how Mendel self-pollinated F2 generation and found that dwarf plants of F2 generation. Now this is F2 generation. This is F2 generation. How many types of plants we have here?
Four.
Four?
One.
No, how many types of plant? You are almost correct. Four? Three types, no?
Tall and.
Because these two are common. We have three types. One is capital T, one is capital T, small t, and capital T, small t, and the other one is dwarf. Now, if I continue growing this type of plants, if I keep on making seeds from this type of plant, what type of plant I will get?
Dwarf.
All will be dwarf. So what Mendel did, when he started self-pollinating the dwarf plants, he found that F2, after F2, there will be F3, F4, F5 generation. All the plants were only dwarf. Because this was homozygous recessive. What will happen if I use these plants? We'll get all tall. What will happen if I use this plant?
You get tall.
Tall, some dwarf, some mixture will be there. But it's easy to Mendel phenotypic character were only two types. It was tall and dwarf. So Mendel used the dwarf plant to see the F3, F4 generation, and he found all were dwarf. Here he was not able to know which one was capital T, small t, capital T, or capital T, small t. Phenotypically, you can just tell it is tall and dwarf. But whether inside what is there, he was not able to make. So that's why he used dwarf plants, and he found all the plants were dwarf. Okay. So Mendel proposed some factors were inherited from parents to offspring. So during that time, he used the term called factor, which is now called as genes. He said that some factors are inherited from the parents to the offspring. Okay, next is now this is very important. Mendel laws of inheritance of one gene, that is back cross and test cross. Okay. Back cross is a cross between a hybrid and its any parent. Back cross is a cross between a hybrid and a parent. It is just like between a son and a parent, or daughter and a parent. So test cross is crossing of an organism with dominant phenotype to a recessive individual. Dominant phenotype to a recessive individual. What is this dominant phenotype with recessive individual? Now, dominant phenotype can be either capital T, correct? And which type of character is using? The other one is what? Recessive individual. Recessive will be small t. So what you will get? Capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Then see, first it will become T. Okay, this one will become TT. This one will become T and T. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, small t. Now Mendel didn't knew whether this was homozygous or heterozygous. Mendel only knew what Mendel knows, that this plant is a tall plant. But to check whether it is homozygous tall or heterozygous tall, to check whether the plant is homozygous tall or heterozygous tall, we do what is called as test cross. In test cross, we will take the plant and cross it with recessive. If it is homozygous tall, all the plants will be
Tall.
tall. If the plant which Mendel found was tall, but he don't know whether it is homozygous or heterozygous. If it is homozygous tall, then all the plants will be tall. If it is heterozygous tall, what will happen?
One will be tall.
If it is heterozygous, then the condition will be capital T, capital T, capital T, capital T, capital T, small t.
Small.
Okay. Sorry, here it will be no. Yes. Small t, small t. Correct. So if it is heterozygous, then he will get dwarf plant also.
Yes.
But if it is homozygous, he will get all tall plants. Okay. So this is what is test crops. So what we'll do is stop here.